take on this Big Brothers thing?
Ryan
You know what the best part is?
Ryan said we're going live.
The best part is when we hear 5 seconds to air, and then Luds goes, "Hey, I have a question," because you know it's going to bleed into the cold open. Luds, would you like to ask the question now on the air?
No.
Okay. Nope, he's going to keep it to himself. I'll answer his question because I know what he's asking about. But we're doing the pregame show. Stars at Senators. Why has this been such a bad place for Dallas in recent history? We'll tell you about it next. Right now.
Fail out of school.
Hi, everybody. This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show. As Sam just said, he failed out of school. That's always a great way to start tonight's program.
You told me to be my authentic self.
Nothing wrong with that.
I was honest.
Yeah. We have Craig Ludwig, who I guess made it through college, at least to win a couple national titles. We have Sam Nessler, who...
Also won a national title.
Okay.
In
Lacrosse.
Did you really?
Yeah.
D3?
D1 club.
D1 club. Oh, D1
EC,
club.
Yeah.
Oh, fancy. Ryan Vaughters,
Club.
who I'm positive graduated with honors.
Not honors, but I graduated.
He graduated.
He graduated.
And I'm
That's
Owen
the
Newkirk.
bar on this show.
Well, anyway, before we get into tonight's show, let's talk about the Face-Off collection. Because we've been talking about it for a few weeks, yes, there it is. Both shirts, the Face-Off collection. Still available, alldls.com. They look great. Get yours today. Luds may or may not tell you about a deal later. We'll see. All right, guys, before we get into it tonight, I wanted to give our good friend and first biggest guest, well, Brad was our first guest, Brad Alberts, but Daryl Ray, Stars color commentator and very interesting human being, was, of course, on our show. He was the most viewed show for a while.
Longest show we've ever had, I think.
Still?
I think so.
No.
I thought it was like an hour and 40 minutes.
I think we've gone
I wasn't
longer.
even on it. You guys just went, man.
Well, it's easy to do with Razor, but Luds, Razor...
We only asked him 2 questions.
He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame yesterday as the Foster Hewitt Memorial winner, named to Outstanding Broadcasting and Contributions to the NHL. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow on the show. We'll have some time for it. But we wanted to share with you a couple photos that the Stars tweeted out. There's Razor, of course, with Brad Alberts, the Stars president, getting his plaque, which will go in the Hall of Fame, which is very cool.
So cool.
It's in both English and French, in case you were wondering. Those 2 paragraphs, it's the exact same thing, but translated into the 2 languages. And then a picture of Razor with his family, his 2 daughters, and his wife. And what a cool honor. That's why Brent Severin was doing color commentary for the last 2 Stars games, was Razor allowed over the weekend to go up to the Hall of Fame weekend. And then they had the festivities Monday. We don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that Razor is going to be in Ottawa tonight doing the game, because
I'm sure he had a limo. I mean, it's only
Toronto to Ottawa is not a very far trip. So
I'm sure he took a.
So any thoughts on Razor before we do a segment on it tomorrow? Perfect.
One of a kind.
Love it. All right, let's talk
Congrats.
about this one tonight. Stars and the Senators.
He's the greatest.
Thank you. That's all
He's
we
the
needed to say.
greatest.
Here's the crazy thing about this matchup. The Dallas Stars are doing pretty well in the record column lately. They've moved up to second in the division. They are 6-1-3 in their last 10 games since October 23rd. The Ottawa Senators are also 6-1-3 in their last 10 games, and both teams have done it. Now, the Stars have had Jamie Benn on the shelf the entire season so far. He continues to skate with the team up in Ottawa, so we're getting there. The Senators lost Brady Tkachuk to a thumb injury that then required surgery. He's out at least 6 to 8 weeks. And so both of these teams have been winning and banking points without their captains in the lineup. Luds, they want to know in the chat if you can speak French after playing in Montreal.
Ben oui.
See? I believe it.
Un autre bière, s'il vous plaît. And then it gets a little dirtier. So
Yeah.
I'll just stop right
I
there.
believe it. So let's talk about this
Renault.
this matchup. Because I have some thoughts and I want to bring up a few things. But one of the things that we come out of the weekend is that they found a way to win, right? They've won 2 in a row. They beat Nashville. Then they beat Seattle. Well, our first video clip today, guys, is Glenn Gulletson on what he thought of. Actually, he was asked about the whole weekend. He pinpointed the game against the Kraken.
Sunday, what I did like is we were, we were 3 and 4, and I thought we gutted it out a little bit. We blocked some shots on the PK. Later, we were doing whatever we could to win, and that's the biggest thing I took from that game. Looking through it, there's a few things we wanted to tidy up, some of our line change and stuff, but that comes with your third and fourth. But we got to be better in those areas tonight.
Thoughts?
Yeah, the one thing he did say after the game Sunday was that was the first game he really saw that they looked gassed. He could start to see that fatigue. He mentioned line changes. That was one. A lot of times you see, especially in the NHL, because it's such a fast game, when you are tired, it's the mental mistakes that start to come into play. The missed assignment, the wrong time for a change, things like that. That's what he started to see. But as you said, they're just finding a way, and that, as we mentioned on our previous shows, is just might be the theme here for a little bit until they get some help.
When you talk about the line changes, and Ryan, I think we've drawn up that 3-4 times now, line changes, players coming on the ice, coming off late and things like that. Sometimes you, as a coaching staff, have to take a little accountability in that, because there has been a lot of line juggling going on, and there's a lot of players playing with different players at different times. And I mean, and I know you guys do, I don't, but if you guys are sitting up there charting, who's with who, hey man, you go through a couple different pens at times, But again, in a good way, you have to pay attention.
That's his main job, is to make sure who's.
But I guess my thing is, in so much of the game today is these guys going back to the bench and staring at the iPads. Maybe they're not used to so much juggling going on.
What's funny is the other night, Sam he was sitting next to me, can attest to this. We're pretty sure that one of these stars dropped an iPad on the ice during play.
Well, they took it out there with them?
No, like it fell.
It fell onto the ice.
I think somebody had it on the dasher, on the ledge where they come over the boards, and it fell. Because all of a sudden I look down and I go, Sam, do you see that? There's some sort of like rectangular.
Yeah, I think the linesman,
and one of the linesmen skated by and handed it back over. And
it was probably Robos.
I think that was an iPad, which isn't totally surprising.
All right, they can afford it.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with that. I think that there's still some holes in this team and in the game, but the good news is they're finding ways to collect points. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all you're worrying about. But everybody's gonna, this is at the point where everybody's gonna start getting their game in order in the next 10 to 15 games. They're going to be closer to what they're going to be towards throughout the end of the season. So,
all right. So let's talk about a guy that needs to get his game not in order but going. Jason Robertson. We've talked about it at length, and I wrote down some numbers because Jason Robertson hasn't scored a goal in his last 9 games. That drought stopped, meaning it began after the October 23rd game against the LA Kings. He scored in each of his first 2 games of the regular season this year, in the team's first 2 games, which means that he has 1 goal in his last 14 games. That seems like a long time. So I went back and looked and said, geez, a 9-game goal drought, 1 in 14, that's got to be maybe the longest. Well, turns out, guys, that last year he had a very similar goal-scoring drought where he went 9 games without a goal from October 26th through the 18th of November of 2024. Then he scored a goal to break that drought against San Jose on November 20th. Then he went on another 8-game goal drought. So he scored 1 goal in 18 games.
I thought it was 21. Okay.
And after that, he scored on December 8th against Calgary, and that began a stretch where he had 30 goals over the final 56 games of the regular season, which we talked about at the end of last year. Tied for 3rd most in the NHL in that span. Only David Pastrnak with 34 goals and Leon Draisaitl with 33 had more from the 8th of December through the end of the regular season. So after looking through and saying all that, I'm not worried about Jason Robertson because we've seen past history where he, last year, when he was injured, went through this and wasn't playing well. I think he's playing much better than he was at this time last year. I'm not saying he's playing perfect hockey right now, but he's generating scoring chances night after night.
He is.
So I think that it's a matter of time before a couple pucks go in and he could go and rattle off 30 and 55, 60 games.
I think, and as I'm talking, I'm sure Sam can find this, I feel that his shots per game are starting to go down a little bit. I remember saying to you guys a couple weeks ago, man, the good news is he's shooting the puck and he's coming out of there with, 6, 7, 8 shots a night. I feel like over the last 2, 3, 4 games, I'm not even sure what it is. It just seems like he's not getting as many shots off. And maybe he's being a little bit more selective in his shots. But I think when Robo was feeling it, and again, I'm hoping it's not because he's disappointed in not scoring, where he's doesn't continue to get pucks to the net. Did I give you enough time there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is going down. He's only 3, 2, and 2 in the last 3 games. Before that, it was a lot of 5s and 4 or 6s. But
yeah, so it's 2 to 3 shots maybe per game, and 4 shots at a couple times. It just seems like it's. Because that when that was happening for me, I was very positive on him. I'm on it because he's getting his opportunity. He's such a pure goal scorer. It's going to start going in for him. So I just hope that this little drought here, he's kind of coming back out of that and he starts getting pucks in the net because, and again, sometimes by just shooting from everywhere doesn't necessarily help you score goals because now you're just shooting them to shoot. Take shots, which isn't a bad thing. But I think when you're such a pure goal scorer, we watch him go in, and it just seems like he scores at ease. If there's he gets into the shootout, it's a piece of cake for him.
Yeah.
And so now there's been a couple point blank ones that I recall, and he's hitting the goaltender with it. So sometimes maybe that's just being a little bit too perfect. I don't know, but I don't think we're anywhere. At least I'm not anywhere concerned about his game like I was last year. Owen seemed to think his big toe was hurting him, all this other kind of stuff. I didn't like the way he played most of the year. I just didn't think he was getting involved in things. He came on a little bit at the end, and then obviously he was better in the playoffs, which matters. But I thought this year he definitely turned the page. Said, "Listen, I'm back. I'm going to start." And like you said, here we go. And then it just kind of shut off for him.
Yeah, what's interesting is I wrote about the power play this morning, specifically Neil Graham and how well he's done with his group. Robertson's top 10 in the NHL in power play points. So he's still creating offense. I think he's third on the team behind Wyatt and Mikko in overall points as well. He's still finding ways to be involved.
He has 11 assists.
Yeah,
he's second on the team behind.
That blew my mind when I started researching how much. I didn't realize, even though being here and watching all these games, I didn't realize how much the power play was carrying this team. The fact that their PK is almost bottom 5. Their goaltending was great for a little bit, but has struggled early. Their PK, their PK is what carries them. Mikko Rantanen and Wyatt Johnston and the power play has just carried this team. I think they're second. They just jumped, I think, 0.02 above the Edmonton Oilers. So I know that'll put a smile on Glenn Gullison's face there. But just want to say he's going to find a way, and I think he's going to score on the power play very soon.
Well, and when you bring up the power play going to the game tonight, when Owen was rattling off numbers for tonight's game, that's their strength tonight. Otherwise, everything between these two teams, you talked about the records and everything. Everything is like even all the way across the board, with the exception of power play is whatever it is. It's best in the league or right there.
Third.
Second.
Ottawa's last in the league. So that is where they can do some damage tonight because the 5-on-5 stuff is very similar. And again, I know that Ottawa's missing.
I'm glad you brought that up because I do have those numbers here. So Stars third in the league. They've scored power play goals in 5 straight games, Luds, and the Senators not only rank worst, but they have improved lately. The Sens penalty kill has gone 6 for 6 over their last 3 games. Listen to these splits because this is the tale of a really horrible start and a little bit better. Because I don't know if it's fair to say that the Senators are the worst penalty kill in the league, even in terms of how they're playing recently, even though their numbers rank them last. Their first 7 games of the year, they gave up 11 power play goals in 7 games. They went 15 for 26, 57.7%, which is epically bad. The last 9 games, they've gone 16 for 20. That's 4 power play goals allowed, 80%. That's not great, but it's way better than 57. So I think they've gotten more stingy, but
they haven't played against the best power play in the league yet.
The Stars have scored in 5 straight, and they are cooking. Yep. To this point, that's the other note that I don't have it on that sheet, but I have it on this one. Dallas continues to just pile up the power play. And Sam was talking about how much has carried the team. They've scored a power play goal in 10 of their first 16 games.
Crazy. And they have the Mikko Rantanen and Wyatt are tied.
12 of 16. They've allowed a power play goal against in 10.
Yeah, that's the
So
other
the penalty
side
kill's
of it.
been bad, but the power play. Think about that.
Yep.
Only 4 times in 16 games have they not scored at least one power play goal.
And how often, especially with the team that's normally up there and the players that are normally up there, do you see 2 Dallas Stars leading the league in power play points and Wyatt Johnston leading the league with 7 power play goals?
And
That's
I
impressive.
think, and when you see that, you have to be thinking, Luds, that between Gully, Neil Graham, and the players on the ice, the confidence has to be, they have to be going into games going, we're going to get at least 1 on the power play tonight, maybe 2. They're that confident.
Well, more importantly than those guys you just mentioned, the 4 or 5 guys that are out there believe that too.
Yes.
I mean, you can just tell the way they're making the puck sing out there. They seem to be making the right decisions at the right time. Sometimes there's an extra pass. You're like, wait, whoa, that was a perfect opportunity. But then it goes across Seaman and it's a goal. You know what I mean? So they've got guys that can score from anywhere. Wyatt going to the front of the net now. You know, and again, you want to see Robo get in there.
And
To me, that's why you keep putting Robo out there. And if he's going to score a goal, it's either empty netter will get him going too. But point is if he's going to score a goal, that would be the spot that he would have the best opportunity, right?
Wouldn't you think that because of that confidence, that's helped with the other aspects? It feels like lately entries hasn't been something we've noticed as a problem.
Yeah.
I think they've done a lot better at it.
That's
I think their speed has made a big difference
Yeah.
again. Hintz makes such a big difference with that.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the coin for Ottawa, they have to be careful the way they play the game. Now, Brady's not in the lineup tonight, so they miss a little bit of that edge, how he instigates all that kind of stuff. But they have to be careful the way that they play. Having a poor penalty kill, numbers-wise at least, playing up against this power play, that they have, maybe they're not as aggressive tonight. Maybe that plays into the hands of Dallas in this game because, I look at both goaltenders. They're both giving up 3 goals a game.
Yep.
I mean, their save percentages aren't great. They're in the 800s, but again, who knows what this game is? But that's why I told my kid to go over tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't give this
Most
team
important part.
Well, he was asking me. I was just saying it.
you don't give this team a power play goal, your chances of winning skyrocket.
Correct.
Right now.
Yeah.
That's the best way to beat them.
All right, let's do our ad break, and then we'll come back and show you the lineups, a couple more things for Glenn Gulletson, and spin that finger. Stars postgame, our pregame show continues. Postgame, let's go
we're
home
going home?
already.
Well, there's a new read tonight. So do you have it, Sam?
No, you do.
Oh, I got it. That's right. Big Brothers, Big Sisters,
Thought he was gonna get me.
it's
I'm
Flag
ready.
Football Day. Big Brothers, Big Sisters invites you to step onto the field and into a mentorship role at our Big for a Day flag football event. This Saturday, November 15th, at the Irving High School football field from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Join us for a day of fun, football, and connection as we pair adult men with one of the 400-plus little brothers currently waiting for a mentor. You'll team up for a friendly flag football game, enjoy a lunch together, and learn the fundamentals of football, all while making a lasting impact. No long-term commitment required, just one day to show up, play, and inspire. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just love the game like Sam, this is your chance to be a role model and make a difference. Sign up today, check the link in the description right there, and be the reason a little brother smiles.
I was MVP of my flag football team.
I'm
when I
sure
was
you were.
In
Thought you might have been the ball.
Elementary school. It's one thing to support long-term growth. It's another to go out and celebrate it. Thanks to all the amazing Dallas Stars and DLLS fans who embrace long-term growth in all its feathered glory. Our Main Street branch pop-up event was the ultimate celebration of PNC's reliable, responsible approach to long-term financial planning, told through the lens of another amazing long-term investment, Epic Hockey Hair. At the Main Street branch, fans had the chance to pick up their own Dallas Stars hockey hair hat, as you see right here. A limited edition Stars hat with epic hockey hair coming out of the back. It was a reminder that the best things, whether legendary flow or a strong financial plan, come to those who are patient and committed to the long run. I don't know about you guys. I had fun at that event.
Yeah,
that was a fun time.
of course.
I see some people in our chat right now that met us there or saw us again there. A lot of fun. Luds was obviously the celebrity at the event, but it was a lot of fun to have, and thanks to PNC Bank. PNC Bank, an official partner of the Dallas Stars.
Thank you, Sam. It's time for the PNC Bank Mullet Report. Here is our pick for favorite hockey hair from around the NHL. And tonight, we went a little bit more recently.
Oh man.
Cody Eakin,
That's
the
awful.
former Dallas Star, this one pictured playing for the Buffalo Sabres. I don't think he ever had quite that. People love to call him the Ginger Ninja. don't know if he ever. I can't remember him going.
He
full
had hair.
It wasn't
but
like
he
that.
had hair, but
Not
he did
with
not
Dallas.
have.
It
No,
was
he
not
did
hair.
not
No.
have that.
I think it was only with Buffalo, but boy,
He did. He had
gotta
a good
keep your-
mustache once in a
Well,
while.
when you're in Buffalo, you want your neck to stay a little bit warmer. A little
that's
chilly
right.
out
It's
there.
chilly out there because I
walking
don't
back
think when
from
he
the
was
rink.
in Vegas he had it like that either. But
I loved watching him play.
why?
He was just one of those Ritzkovian type of guys. Always in the battle. He could score a few goals. He scored a couple of incredible goals. I think he scored an overtime winner in the playoffs that 2016 year, I think, where they made that run. Just a fun player to watch.
You can get under your skin too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little Mike Keenish,
Yep.
you know, at times. Little
never
red hair, you know. I mean, Keener does not have hair anymore, but
Oh.
red hair. Yeah.
I never thought of Eakin as being a big time offensive threat, but he had the ability to chip in those goals.
Yep.
In a way, he's a little similar to Sam Steele in the way that he would be physical when he had to, maybe even a little grittier than Steele, but still had the ability to play with top end talent. You remember
Yeah.
Eakin played with Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin as their center for quite a while.
He was more annoying than Sam Steele. I'll
Yep.
say that on the ice.
At the Main Street branch that Sam talked about, fans had the chance to pick up their own Dallas Stars hockey hair hat, a limited edition Stars hat with a gorgeous mane of hockey hair coming out the back. Sorry, Ryan's trying to text me in the middle of this. It was a reminder that the best things, whether it's a legendary flow or a strong financial plan, come to those who are patient and committed to the long run. And as Sam said earlier, PNC Bank, an official partner of the Dallas Stars. All right, let's get to the lineups tonight because we are a little short on time because we talked a lot about some of the key moments. But here's a look for what we are expecting to see from the Stars. No lineup changes per Glenn Gullitson this morning. The same group of forwards and defensemen. The only change is Jake Oettinger gets the start. And then for the Ottawa Senators, they are, of course, as Luds mentioned earlier, missing Brady Tkachuk, their captain, and a big part of it. But they've been able to connect these things. Now, remember Dylan Cousins, former Buffalo Sabre, part of that trade with Josh Norris going the other way, and a couple of players back and forth there. Both teams trying to do better. The Senators have taken a step. They snapped a 7-year playoff drought last year, got in, disappointed not to get past the Maple Leafs, but they scared them a little bit, especially, what was it, Game 5?
Yeah, were they down 3-0? Was that series?
I think so.
And they won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they won Game 5
they've
in
got
Toronto.
Toronto's number right now. Toronto's worried with them.
They should be. And then the defense, of course, I'm a huge Jake Sanderson fan. There he is, pictured great with Team USA as well. Linus Ullmark will get the start in goal. And let's take a look at the goalie matchups real quick before we get some thoughts on the Sens, because here's what Luds was talking about. Each goalie tonight, Ullmark and Oettinger, supposed to be the big guns for both teams. Both don't quite have those numbers, although I don't know about Ullmark, Luds, but Oettinger has shown the elite talent in some games this year. It just hasn't been every single game.
He's had one clean game, right? He's had one shutout.
The shutout. That was
There's
against the
been
Caps.
That goal.
Yep.
And I would say not every game, but just about every game. So, but his numbers are coming down. That means he's getting better.
Stars playing in Canadian Tire Center, not a friendly confines for them. They've lost 8 in a row. They are 0-6-2. They haven't won in Ottawa or Kanata, where it's the southwest suburb, since March 6, 2016, when Jason Spezza and Antoine Roussel scored and Kari Lehtinen backstopped them for the victory. Of course, we saw on Twitter that Roussel had scored pretty late from Ales Hemsky, about 3 minutes, 2.5 to go. The last time they played was in Ottawa, and the Sens snapped Dallas's 7-game winning streak on January 12th, which was the second night of a back-to-back. Bing bang! After playing in Montreal. Ardell has a super chat, so let's go to that. We have a Lundqvist and a Zubov. No, he's going to say Sidor and a Zubov. Why is Ottawa such a house of horrors for the Stars? Does Luds believe that we are going to crush these guys?
I do not think they're going to crush them. I think this could be a goal fest. And Ryan, if you want to go back and forth from our forward lines and their forward lines, I would think that you would go in this game thinking Dallas has got the edge in this game. If you look at our top line there's 20 total goals. And I'm talking about the 3 guys combined, 20 goals. Now for the Sens top line, 15 goals. That top line there, Stutzel's getting on a little bit of a roll here. Yep. Go back to ours again. Okay, there's 10 goals on our second line. Right there, Robertson, Hinson, Sagan. There's 9 goals on the Sens second line, so we're getting pretty even. Now you go to the third line. 5 goals for the Dallas Stars. Beck, Ritzkovian, Ritz and Bork. Other line for the Sens, their third line's got 17 goals.
Boy, and Amadio scored in 4 straight games.
And then on the fourth line, it's 3 and 5. So there's a little similarity in these groups here. Both of them can score goals.
Yep.
Now, both of these teams, Dallas is a -1, total goals for and against. Sens are -2. So there's just, they're more even than you think these two. And they both sit, I believe, third, or no, wait, Dallas in second. I think Sens are third in their division.
Yep.
So
just behind Boston.
You said it right. The Sens score a lot. I think they're top 5 or 6 in goals for, but they're way down at the bottom of goals against. So you are right. There's a very good chance this could be 5-4, which means it'll be 1-0.
So let's hear from Gully what he expects from the Senators tonight.
I look at their team and they're good in the face-off circle, so they take a lot of, they're by far the best in the face-off circle, so they can own territory that way. So we've got a good face-off team. That's going to be a good challenge for us tonight. They're stingy. We've got to play stingy. So if it's low event, that's fine, but we've got to win kind of the small battle games against these guys because, it's a battle for territory.
Do you think it's going to be low event after talking about how much they give goals against?
Yeah, I don't. I don't because they both seem to find ways to score goals. I'll tell you what, in my opinion, what Ottawa has, it's not at the same level as Anaheim, but what they have now is they have belief. They believe in the way that they're playing.
Yes.
And again, without the biggest key to that team in Brady Tkachuk, but they believe in how they're playing and they can win hockey games now. And I think that's been missing up until last year when they get in the playoffs and they had a big. I think that did a lot for these guys. And I think they believe in their group right now.
I think that we always talk about stepping back. You look at numbers and then sort of seeing what does that tell us. They do score a lot, but they scored 14 goals in 2 games. They beat the Capitals in Washington 7-1. That was right before they came to Dallas, the Caps, and they were reeling from that one because they thought Ovi was going to get number 900 that night. And they got embarrassed by the Sens. And then the very next game, 2 days later, they went home and they beat Boston 7-2. So that's 14 of their goals in 2 games. Look at the games since. 4-3 win, 4-3 overtime loss, 3-2 overtime loss, 3-2 overtime win, 4-2 win.
But that's what you're talking about. Is
These
they
are
keep
grinding.
games close.
Yes.
They're 1-goal games.
Yes.
And now they're in goals all the way to the end, where they were out sometimes at the end of the first period, beginning of the second period. So they've, and I know that they've had a couple coaches come in there and work different things with them. And I think their defensive side of the game has gotten a little bit better.
And don't you think that's sort of the MO from Travis Green as a coach? He very much is pushing the defensive side of the game?
Yeah, I think he's a detailed guy.
Yeah.
And again, even when Travis played the game, he was a detailed-oriented kind of player. So that's what he's getting across to these guys.
Sam, Luds was talking about Maverick Bourque. It's been a topic you've liked to chat about a lot.
Yep.
He was asked about it today from the media in Ottawa. Gully was. And here's Gully's thoughts on Maverick Bourque's season so far.
Yeah, he's had some really good games. I mean, last game that line was really good. They were effective. The game before in Nashville, he had the goal and assist. So, like a lot of young players, showing signs of some real sparks of like being real consistent. But then again, consistency is always the challenge in this league in general. So I think he's had some really good games. He's shown the ability to play in the top 6, top 9. Just has to find that level every night. But he's been good.
Thoughts, Sam?
Yeah, I think that's the point we need to remember is the young player thing over and over again. He has such high expectations, as we've said about Logan Stankoven. Wyatt Johnston kind of ruined it for young guys here because of his immediate success. But the thing that Glenn Goldson keeps saying is Bourque keeps showing that. And I think he was using the reference of a ceiling, saying he keeps getting right up against it, showing you, here's what I can be. And then he kind of fades away for a little bit here. And the consistency, that's the number one thing for him right now. I'd love to see him use what he did in Nashville, I think was when he had the 2 points. Use that to build more confidence.
Saturday's game. Yep.
The thing I will say is that other than maybe those 2 games where Luds was kind of picking on him because he had those tough defensive plays, I haven't seen him making mistakes, which is a good thing because last year when he was in the games, he was making a lot more mistakes and not showing offense. This time he's maybe not creating as much, but he's playing a more simple game and he's not making as many glaring mistakes.
And that's because of the people he's playing with.
Yeah,
when you play with
helps.
people that play in straight lines and everything's going to the puck, you don't try these other kind of plays when you're playing with the Rantanen or Wyatt and Robo, and now you're starting to try to play like they do, and sometimes it doesn't work out, so he's getting more out of it this way.
All right, before
Bing
we
bong.
go, we have a super chat.
Let's just sit here and do bing bongs.
Burned
Just watch the
Oils
game
with
right
a
Yeah.
Darian Hatcher and Year After the Cup. I'm smiling with Sam. Sam doing a lot of smiling over there.
I smile a lot.
I just wanted to do
Thanks,
a quick
Burned Oils.
shout out to our friends over at the SMU Athletic Forum Luncheon because their featured guest this Friday will be Olympic gold medalist and Team USA captain Mike Eruzione. It's over at the Omni Dallas Hotel at noon on Friday, November the 14th, not February. So
That
it's
would
this
be
Friday.
Valentine's Day.
And guess who's going to interview him? The Ticket's very own Bob Sturm. So Sturm
Oh,
will
that's cool.
be interviewing Mike Eruzione. If you are interested in
shot.
going, tickets can be purchased at smu.edu/athletic forum. So I think that'll be really cool to hear from Mike Eruzione, Mr. Team USA. And Stars and Sens tonight, little cross-border battle up in Ottawa.
Happy Veterans Day down here. Happy Remembrance Day up there.
We'll see you for the postgame show right here on DLLS.
Won't do it.
We all silly like the mayor.